Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Discussion Points, and this is our second episode on the Ace Trainer YouTube channel. And I am proud to be joined by Andrew Tan, who was the winner of the Perth City Championships that occurred last weekend. Welcome, Andrew.
Hey buddy, how are you?
Good, thank you, mate. So we've got a little bit to cover today. Hopefully this episode is not going to be any longer than 10 minutes because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But we're going to be discussing, we're going to give you a little, we're going to let you do a little recap of the event, how it went. We're going to talk about what you expected the meta to be going into the event, your plans for the future of the season, for the rest of the season, and if you have any tips for the future city events, if you can give it listeners, watchers, any tips. And we'll probably wrap up just chatting about your deck really quickly before the end of the show. So first of all, Andrew, the Perth City Championships had, I believe, it was at 15?
I believe it was 18 players for
18,
Masters.
18 Masters players? Okay, I've
Correct.
got 16 here, but I believe that
Yeah,
2 may have dropped during the
correct.
event.
Yep.
Okay, so you had 18 players, and what was your record after Swiss?
My record after Swiss is four win, one loss, and zero tie. The reason why I got that loss is because I decided to scoop to Matthew, so to get him into the top cut, which guarantees him in.
And you ended up playing Matthew again in the finals, is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Did you play any games and get to see what he was playing, or did you have any idea what kind of deck he was playing?
I have an idea what Matt was playing because he's been practicing with my friend William, and I'm
Okay.
playing quite a similar deck, which is Yveltal Mewtwo, and I had an idea what I should do for that matchup, so I wasn't too worried.
Okay, well, we
Yeah.
should mention before we get too much further in, you played
Mm.
Gallade with Octillery, that's correct?
Yes, correct.
And as far as I know, being someone that is no longer super into the meta, Gallade Octillery, you are playing the routes and the curlier as well on the deck, is that right?
Yes, Routes, Carol, and Gallade, the whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you explain the general idea of the deck, just maybe in 15-20 seconds?
Yeah, so pretty much you set up as many Gallade as you can while using Octillery to get your draw engine going. And what you do is you aim EX. Like, it's really good against EX decks because you just such a good price trade. So that's where I think it's really strong in the meta at the moment.
Okay, fantastic. And will you I'm bringing up, obviously you can't see it at the moment, but I'm going to be bringing up the results
Yep.
of the week. And so first place, obviously yourself with Gallade Octillery. Second place,
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Bray with the Vettel and Mega Mewtwo Y. Third
Yep.
place, Scott Free with Manectric Crobat, and fourth
Mm-hmm.
place, William with a Vettel Mewtwo Y as well. So
Correct.
would you tell me about your matchups during the day? You obviously played 5 rounds in Swiss, and then you played your top 4 opponent. I believe that was Scott, and then you played Matthew in the final.
Yes. So during my Swiss round, I first versed Lionel. Lionel is a VGC player, and he's there to sort of to get the numbers up. So he played YZG, and he allowed me to go through because he's not looking for points. Um, Secondly, I versed Marcus, which is Kale's cousin. He used Lucario bats, and I I 2-0'd. Sorry, it was a one win, and we reached time. William is used Yveltal Mewtwo. I 2-0'd him. Definitely a very good matchup because if they don't run Starling Megaphone, it's really hard for them to one shot because of the constant focus sash. So I traded quite evenly with his Mewtwo's, and eventually he runs out of steam. Fourth one, I versed Scott Free with Manectric Bats. Um, Manectric has a weakness to fighting, so Gallade hits pretty hard for that matchup. He had to rely a lot on Crobat's damage to do any damage to Gallade because of Gallade's weakness, which is Psychic. So at one point, he used a muscle banded Crobat with Giovanni. So it was
Oh, wow.
It was hitting 140 damage from that one energy attack. Combined with Brad's damage, it's quite substantial.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And the last round, I versed Matthew Bray with Yvetto. I didn't verse him, so that was pretty much my Swiss round.
Hmm.
Mm.
And obviously in top four you played against Scott, and like you were
Mm.
saying, you get to really abuse the weakness in that
Yeah.
matchup, make it quite easy because you're always taking knockouts, and
Mm.
it's a very scary matchup for the Manetric player because the second they even try to put energy down, you can
Mm.
threaten KOs with the premonition, and I don't actually know Octillery's ability name. What is it?
Octillery's ability name, let me read, is Abyssal Hand.
Abyssal Hand. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
constantly going to be drawing the
Yeah.
exact cards that you want with Abyssal Hand, always threatening Lysanders off the top of your deck, and VS Seekers, of course, as well. So it makes it very hard for them to commit energy to Manetrix.
Especially when Scott doesn't play Flash Energy, it's
Oh, yes. Mm.
really hard matchup. But Scott was really close in round two to knocking me out with uh, the Manetrix first attack, which is a 20 snipe to the back. He had a lot of bats going,
Mm.
and he left my routes, which is at the bench, 10 HP left. So I
Oh,
was
no.
really close to losing that round, but for some miracle, I was able to get back to the game.
That's good. I
Yeah.
wanted to get your general thoughts on the meta of the day too. I am going to remove the results from the page and bring
Mm,
back up our little discussion here.
mm,
So, what did you think the meta was going to be like going into the event? The interesting thing for me here is that there are absolutely no Night March and no Vespiquen decks in the
yeah.
entire field. Did you after the Tasmanian double and seeing or probably 15 decks in the
Mm,
space of 2 days with
mm.
either a Night March focus or a Vespiquen focus. Did you think there would be lots of it going into Perth?
Being in Perth and playing fortnightly with West Coast Pokemon League, I sort of talk with them, talk to my friends, what their thoughts are, like what decks they prefer and all that. And I know for sure that no one will play Night March for Perth Cities. That's the way. I don't know. Like I played it for Worlds and I got a bit sick of it. And Alex played Night March and like he didn't really enjoy it for standard. So I knew that there wouldn't be any Night March. So I took advantage of that information and that's how I ended up with Gallade.
Okay. And your Gallade was a choice based on what you expected the meta to be?
Correct. So I was expecting a lot of Manetric, YZG, and Mewtwo, and I think Gallade has a strong matchup for all three because they're so EX heavy based decks.
That's very true.
Mm, mm.
So we're not going to dwell too much on the results. I want to say congratulations on winning the city
Yeah,
championships.
yeah, thank you.
Our current, are you still our current national champion? You're going to be defending your title this season, I hope.
Yes, yes, still national champion until 2016 August, I think.
That's it. So I wanted to chat to you just briefly because you are one of the absolute top players in the country and have been for about 2 years now. And I wanted to get your thoughts and how you are planning to go about this season. Are you going to be making the Worlds run again? Are you going to be traveling a lot? Do you have any plans in that regard?
For this year, I sort of want to sort of go to the back seat a bit. Uh, my plan so far is to just do Perth Cities, Perth Regional, Adelaide Regional to meet my
Mm-hmm.
friend, and then Nationals.
Okay.
And for Worlds, I probably sort of I'll consider it, but at the moment, still 50-50.
We are seeing a lot of players who made an incredibly successful run last season take a little bit of a step back.
Mm.
I personally, I don't believe it has anything to do with the current meta of the game. I think the current meta of the game is really refreshing and really exciting, actually, with the potential for a lot of a lot of change, a lot of diversity in the meta. Is there a deck in the meta currently that you particularly enjoy? Of course, aside from Gallade Octillery, the deck that you won with, is there a deck you really do enjoy playing at the moment?
Um, there's YZG, Yveltal Zora
Mm.
Gallade, which is quite fun to play with. It's really consistent and sort of even. Like it has a fighting chance pretty much the entire field if you play it correctly. It's a quite a skill intensive deck, but I think it's a fun deck and I think it's quite competitive.
So going into this weekend, I believe we have 4 cities this weekend. There's a double in Melbourne
Mm.
and 2 other places.
It would be Perth, which is one of them, and I think it was New Zealand.
And there's a New Zealand cities as well.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
that because I just saw it today.
All right, so we've got 4 cities this weekend. It is going to be quite an excessive weekend, and I'm hoping that next weekend I'll be able to get someone on to interview and chat about their experience at either Melbourne and Perth, and maybe New Zealand as well, depending if we get some Australians going over. What do you think the meta is going to be like heading into Melbourne this weekend? I know Melbourne typically is the largest player base in the country, so there's obviously going to be a lot of variety. If you had to guess, what do you think would be the go-to decks for the Melbourne double this weekend?
Oh, because I know Melbourne, from what I heard. Oh well, Michael Khan is from there, so you'll be expecting to see quite a fair few of Night March. So, oh yeah, YZG would be good. Um, yeah, I think YZG would be a good play for Melbourne Cities. Yeah.
I tend to agree. I'm a big fan of Baby Vettel in this format, especially.
Mm,
I think it's an incredibly strong card. It deals with so many of the small Pokemon in the format very efficiently for just 1 energy, and gives you the ability to back it up. Of course, I spoke about that last week in my video, and I predicted actually that a Vettel would win Perth, I believe, and unfortunately
mm.
you did not ring my prediction true, beating it in the finals, but I
Yeah,
guess I was pretty close.
yeah,
So if
yeah.
you had to pick, just something I would like to start doing for fun at the end of the episode, if you had to pick the most played deck of the Melbourne Cities weekend this weekend, what would you think it would be?
Um, Night March.
Night March? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's probably a pretty safe bet. I
yeah.
am going to say Night March is going to be in spades down in Melbourne
Oh
this
man,
weekend. There's going to
yeah,
be lots of travellers, and I think that a lot of people are going to stick with the consistent theme of Night March.
yeah.
I think we are pretty much done, Andrew. I want to thank you very much for joining me, and good luck for the rest of the season. Is there anything before we go that you think... Sorry, let me start again. Is there anything for the coming city championships and the coming regionals, or any person, any specific deck, any deck that you have seen sort of being tested in the shadows, perhaps? Is there
Mm,
anyone you've seen testing in secret that you think might be in for a chance over the next couple of weeks?
yes, I've been testing Toad and Polion
Oh, okay.
secretly, and I really want to make it to work since I won I won nationals with Toad, so
Mm.
on
Yeah.
a but without laser, it's a bit lackluster. Try to get it back to get get it back working again if I can.
I do really love that Empoleon, actually. I think
Yeah.
there is potential there. Unfortunately, I
Mm,
think that I think Gallade, the Maxie's version of the deck does it a little better at the moment, I think,
mm,
than Archie's. But there is hope for the future, I think,
correct.
with some pretty strong support coming out in the next set for basic
Mm,
Pokemon.
yep, for sure.
All right, Andrew. Well, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it, and I hope that we see you at further events topping the leaderboards. I believe in our Ace Trainer
Yeah.
draft. Let me just check before I get this completely wrong. I was chatting about this afternoon. You were first picked, I believe, by Anthony. So
Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna do a quick scroll, just check. All right, come on. We've posted a lot on Ace Trainer recently. That's why it's
Yeah,
taken me a little
it's
bit
a
of
lot
time.
of results.
Yes, you were. You were, as our reigning national champion, you were first picked by
Yeah.
Anthony. So hopefully you're going to do him proud.
Yeah. On my way.
On your way to it, that's
On my-
exactly right.
Correct.
All
Yeah.
right, buddy. Well, it's been good to chat to you, and we'll sign off now. So make sure you take good care of yourself, and hopefully we'll chat to you soon. Thank you very much, everyone, for
Yeah.
watching Discussion Points, and we'll see you next time.
Alright, cheers.